Hello again. I can offhand think of a dozen reasons why white working class boys are the most likely demographic group of children in modern Britain to fall behind educationally. The fact that more of them own a smartphone than live with their fathers might have something to do with it. The lack of books in their homes compared with middle class families and Chinese and Indian Hindu families, that too might have a bearing on the problem. Then too, if only primary schools spent less time telling them about sex changes and drag artists and concentrated a little more on reading, writing and arithmetic, maybe that would help. Of all the possible reasons advanced for this failure, though, one I would never have thought of is that Britain's old age pension, one of the lowest in the developed world, is increased each year by the rate of inflation, the rate of average wage increases, or 2.5%, whichever is the highest. This is the so-called triple lock and was guaranteed in Labour's election manifesto before the general election last year. It now appears, according to some, that this arrangement is inflicting great harm upon the nation's children, particularly boys. How could this be so, you ask? In what way are all those old age pensioners preventing working class boys from doing well at school? According to the Centre for Social Justice, founded by former leader of the Conservative Party, Sir Ian Duncan Smith, if only we stop being so generous with old people and reduce the amount which we spent on their pensions, and also stop them from retiring at 66, the slackers, then we could free up £8.5 billion, which could then be spent on young families, particularly those with boys, thus solving the problem of underachieving white working class boys at a stroke. This must surely rank as one of the maddest, not to say one of the most horribly unjust pieces of proposed social engineering I've ever heard in my life. Here is what Miriam Cates, a former Conservative MP and senior fellow at the Centre for Social Justice, has to say about this. We recommend repurposing the early years budget to relieve financial pressure on parents so they are not forced to use daycare. We recommend that screens be removed from early childhood altogether, including primary schools, to allow boys' bodies, brains, and emotions to develop through physical play and real interaction. We suggest that in primary schools there should be a marked increase in physical activity and that for at least some parts of the school day, boys and girls should be educated separately. And perhaps most importantly of all, we advocate for a national effort to boost marriage rates to give as many boys as possible a chance to grow up with their dad. We suggest this should be funded by ending the triple lock as a way to end the generational unfairness that has prioritised the old over the young. People who have worked for 50 years and are now collecting a modest pension from the state are, it seems, behaving unfairly by robbing the younger generation of their chances and causing them to remain ignorant and ill educated. I hardly know where to begin in dismantling and criticising this whole idea, but I'm guessing that it's a harbinger of the future because this is not the first time that the triple lock on the old age pension has been claimed to be ruinously expensive for the nation. No wonder a law has been passed to assist old people in dying. They're clearly becoming an insufferable burden upon everybody by expecting to draw their pensions each week. Selfish devils. No wonder those poor boys are doing so badly at school. In the description to this video, I give a link to a newspaper article which covers this peculiar proposal.